Duncan, somebody's got a sense of humour, or I like the fact you're fronting up this week after. Let's deal with the Stoke mist.
Yeah.
That was spectacular. I mean, how on earth did that happen?
It's a good question. It's obviously really frustrating when we do so well as a team and put in a good performance. And my position up there is, I'm really happy with how I'm playing, and contributing to the team on and off the ball. But I want to be scoring goals like that. So that's stating the obvious. And it's just one of those things. And you've just got to, from my perspective, I've just got to keep putting myself in those positions, and the goals will come. So I've just got to keep going, keep grinding, and keep working at it and go again, because as you say, it's incredibly frustrating, and I want to be doing all I can to help the team and help this club. So yeah.
What's that feeling like then when it happens? Because obviously in cricket, batsmen, play and miss and have to immediately get it out of the mind. How do you deal with a moment of adversity?
Yeah, it as I say, I'd be lying if I say it's not incredibly frustrating, because it is, because you work so hard so you can help the team and win games of football for the team. So it does obviously bother you, but at the same time, you've got a job to do for the team. You can't just sulk. You've got to keep trying to work hard for the team, and both on and off the ball. I know I've got an important role to play, so that's something I always keep in mind, and something I always try and do.
So it's almost exactly 13 months since you signed for Middlesbrough, and right now you're fit, you're healthy, you're getting regular starts. Do you feel like you've hit a bit of a sweet spot here?
Yeah, I've been really, obviously, absolutely loved my time here at the club. It's been a fantastic club for me. All the people I've come across, including staff, players, fans, anyone really, they've just been really good to me. I've been enjoying my football. So there's not much more you can ask for, really. Just I always like when I'm able to contribute. As I said before, it's my role, as a footballer, you want to be playing games and helping the team where you can, and that's when you feel most worthwhile, and so I like to do that.
Have you taken confidence from the fact that Chris Wilder has come in and straight away he's put you in the team and he's kept you there?
Yeah, that obviously helps massively, and it's a really nice kind of show of faith, as you say, and it's something that I've been really enjoying and grateful for, and trying to pay him back with good performances and good results, and that's what I've been trying to do. So I've been enjoying it. Yeah.
You had your best goal scoring season of your career last year. Do you feel like you could possibly be on track to beat it this year?
Well, I'd love to. Obviously, I want to keep adding goals to my game, as I say. This is probably the first year, and last year I played a lot, where I've been playing striker. I was pretty much a winger before that. So it's something that I've kind of adapted to and I've enjoyed. But obviously, when you get put in striker as opposed to winger, then new kind of. Well, I suppose there's you want to be scoring more goals, as simple as that. So that's something I'm trying to add to my game. And as you said, I scored a few last year, and I want to be adding that this year. And so that's what I'm always trying to do, and it's something I'll enjoy trying to do as well.
Now, Chris Wilder keeps kidding me on that Boro aren't in a playoff race. They're not a playoff contender. Is it a different message to you and the players that he's giving? No,
I think it's, for us, we're very much focused in the present, game at a time. It sounds it sounds obvious that, but it is. I think it's really important to stay in the moment, especially in life in general. I think it's important to stay in the moment, never get too far ahead or never get too down. You just stay level and you just focus on the next game, and that as a club is what we're trying to do. And if we keep putting performances in and keep getting results, then the table will kind of take care of itself. You'll naturally climb it if you keep putting in good results, but that's something that will become of a byproduct of good performances and a good process, and so that's what we're focusing on. And the next game is against the team with the best away record in the division in Bournemouth, but they've hit a bit of a sticky patch. So, and look, it's the Championship, anyone's beatable, aren't they? Oh, definitely. Yeah, that's the great thing about this league. Anyone can beat anyone. And, that's something that keeps it very interesting and also makes it quite a relentless league, and you always have to be on your game because anyone can beat anyone. You've seen it, for years and years. So, we're very much looking forward to the game and going in with a good mindset.
Just lastly, you'll be well aware of the state of the world in general, and matches are starting to fall foul of COVID and late cancellations. Has life changed any for you in the way you're doing everything within the squad? Have things got a bit stricter and tighter for you?
Yeah, they have. But this club's always been very good with the COVID guidelines, and I think it's dealt really well. The fans and all the players and staff have dealt really well with it over the past 12 months or since I've been here. So, it's something we've just got to do. It's just part of life at the moment. So, that's just what we've got to do, and that's what we're doing.
Brilliant. Good luck at the weekend. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
This one. Simon, do you want to go next?
Yeah, morning, Duncan. You okay?
Hiya, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Just to pick up on that point, what's it actually like being a footballer in the time of COVID inside the bubble?
Well, I suppose it's strange for everyone, isn't it? It's just a strange way of living, and it's something we've got used to over the past couple of years, and you just got to adapt and kind of do what you're told. So yeah, it's we've just got to be careful where we can, because most important is we try and keep the games going for the fans and for the league, and keep the run going kind of thing. So it's important for us to try and keep up the momentum, keep up. As I say, like if for whatever, sometimes you can't control it or whatever reason, COVID outbreak, but you got to do what you can to control it, and we're trying to do that at the moment so we can keep playing football games.
Feels a bit like in society the walls are closing in again at the moment. Is it something that gets talked about in the dressing room, that games might get called off, there might be another stoppage in the leagues?
I think we're aware of it, don't get me wrong. We don't have any idea what's going to happen. I don't think anyone does. So it would be lying if say we're not aware of that possibility, but from our perspective we're just focusing on the games that are on. We're just focusing on making sure we're right and we know what we're doing tactically, and everyone's up for the game and mentally right for it. So that's kind of what we're focusing on, just the games that are on, rather than trying to predict what's going to happen in a week's time or a month's time. You just don't know. It's crazy at the moment, isn't it? So you just can't predict it, so it's kind of besides the point.
And just on ball front, how encouraged is everyone in the dressing room with the way things have been under the new manager? Because I mean, even last weekend at Stoke, that's a decent result when you look at it actually on paper and that kind of thing. And performances seem to have been pretty good from the outside. How's it feeling from the inside?
Yeah, it feels really, really good. I have to be honest. Everyone's really enjoying the football. Everyone's really taken to the new system and the new manager and new coaches, and I think that's shown in our performances. So, but as we keep saying, it's good to have performances, but we want to have results, and that's what we've done the past 3 games, and we want to keep doing that. And so, the performance ultimately does dictate the result, but football's football. You can get a result in any way. So we've got our mind on both of those things at the same time.
Nice one, thanks, Dom. I'll pass you on. Cheers.
Nice one, thank you. Dom?
Hi, Duncan. How are you doing? All right.
Yeah, good, thanks. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. Duncan, every time we've spoke, I think I've asked you to go over the whole injury thing again. So instead of looking at the past and going over that, which you'd have done, so many times, what do you want the future to look like?
It's a good question. I mean, I never look too far in the future because of what's happened in the past, if that makes sense. I don't take it for granted. As soon as I start thinking, how many games am I going to play this season, or how many goals going to score, how can I help the team like in a month's time or 6 months' time or whatever, then I know how quickly it can be taken away from you. And with my injury record, I don't really take anything for granted. So I do just kind of focus game to game. I do have to still manage my knee. That's something that I just part of my life now, and when I'm playing a lot, it becomes even more of something I need to do. So that's just part of my body, and I can't control that. But I'm really happy with I'm still getting out there on the pitch, and I'm trying to play as much as I can. And sometimes my body tells me I can't, just because of everything I've been through, and so my knee does react. I would be lying if I said it doesn't. But because of that, I then don't get too far forward. I just try not to take too much for granted and just focus on the next game.
So I guess it's a bit of a balancing act, is it? And obviously you still want to set yourself targets or aims, even if they're just kind of a week or 2 down the line. But in doing that, just making sure that you stay grounded and stay focused on today.
Exactly, yeah, I agree. It's that balance, definitely.
You've struck up a good partnership with Andr Salah. What's he like as a lad? We haven't spoken to him yet. What's he like off the pitch?
You can get him to do next week, and then you'll be all right. Yeah, no, get on really well with him. As I say, I've been enjoying playing with him, and he's a very talented player. He's obviously, achieved a lot and been at various big clubs, and he's very, as I say, got a lot of talent and good to play with, and he's got a good footballing brain. So I've been enjoying that partnership.
It must be nice, is it, to get not just for yourself, but to get a run of games as a pair. And with that in mind, do you like take time during training to work between yourselves? Do you discuss things after training? Do you bounce things off?
Recording stopped.
Yeah, definitely we do. There's a lot. Obviously, some of the coaches put on the sessions that are deliberately when me and Andres are together, so we work on that link, and we do a lot of work on that in the training. But then also, obviously, off the pitch, we speak a lot about. We're just coming off a training or whatever, or going into a game. We'll speak to each other and know exactly what we want from each other off the ball and on the ball. Because I think, obviously, on the ball, is really important. But I think off the ball's a very crucial part of the game. Where we are positionally, how we press, how we stop, defend from the front. I think these things are a lot more important than maybe sometimes it's taken for. So that's something that I've always been big on in my game, is what we can offer off the ball, like with our running, with our movement, and then with our defensive as well, because we are, we defend from the front, so that's what we've got to try and do.
Last time we spoke, you were talking about your studies. You'd not long finished your degree, and you said you were just enjoying doing some reading. I think it was in the summer, but you didn't rule out any further studies in the future. Is anything on the horizon? Is that, or is it on the back burner?
I don't know. Sometimes I get tempted to do some more, because I finished my masters a year and a bit ago, and I think last year I finished my masters, and then after a year of not doing something, sometimes I think about doing some more, because I do enjoy it, but right now I'm just kind of focusing on my football and just enjoying. Not at the moment, so I couldn't give you any answers for the future just yet. I don't know, but I wouldn't rule it out.
And finally, from me, what does Christmas look like for you and the Watmore family? It must be strange. I suppose it's nice to be at home on Boxing Day, but what are your plans for the games?
So I've got exactly. I've got 3 brothers and my parents, and so quite a big family. And then I'm married. My brother's married and just had a baby, so there'll be a few people at home, so that'll be nice. And they're obviously like home's South Manchester way for me, so I won't be able to get back that much because we just got so many games and training and stuff. So, but hopefully I'll get to see them. And obviously, even when you can't, you've got the beauty of FaceTime and stuff like that is always keeps you in contact. So it's just the nature of the football business. It's a busy time at Christmas. There's so many games, and so we just got to get right for it. So it's a bit of a different Christmas, but it's still an enjoyable one nonetheless.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Duncan. Have a lovely Christmas.
Thanks, you too. Enjoy it.
Hi Duncan, pleasure to meet you for the first time, mate.
How you doing? You okay?
I'm good, mate. I work for the Northern Echo alongside Scott, so pleasure to meet you. Dom just mentioned there about your studies and your master's degree and such like that. Are you considered the sharpest tool in the box amongst the Boro squad?
I think they might consider me that, but I don't know if I consider myself that. It's as I always say, is I think footballers, although maybe academically, because they have to give up so much at a young age to make it in the football industry, I had quite a unique route. But lads are just very switched on people. I think you have to be to make it, because there's a lot of intelligence involved, obviously game intelligence, football intelligence, but also off the pitch as well. You've got to be switched on to be as good as you can be. So, I always think lads are probably more intelligent than the kind of stereotype gives them credit for.
Yeah, do you think that's a little bit maybe understated then, do you think? Do you think that's maybe lost in translation somewhat then?
Yeah, I think, as I say, it's because, well, I don't know if it's because of this, but there isn't that opportunity to study these days, because lads have to give up so much. I think your academies are taking kids out of school when they're 12. 13, they're missing quite a few days a week, and I mean, that's very young. So it's hard to kind of keep up with your studies while you're trying to give everything a football in football ago, and so many people are trying to make it in football. You have to kind of give that your full attention, and it's just a hard balance, really. And as I say, I was quite unique and lucky in that I came to football a bit later, so I could do I could give my full attention to my studies, which helped. But I think that's something that's kind of the way the system is. It's hard for the lads to kind of have that same level of education that they'd perhaps want, because they have to give up so much for football. But they are all switched on, really clever lads.
Yeah. Going back to more on events this season, your goals this season, I think there's been a few worldies thrown in the mix. The Sheffield United was a great finish. The lob over the keeper at Huddersfield was a great finish as well. Must be a source of pride.
Yeah, no, I always like scoring good goals. I enjoyed my one against Huddersfield last year as well, so I've enjoyed a couple of good ones in the past few months here, and I do enjoy scoring good goals. So as I said before, I want to keep adding the simple ones to my game as well, because that's what really adds the numbers up. But the most important thing is helping the team get the result, and if that helps to do that, then that's brilliant.
If you had a favourite Boro goal, which one would you say out of this season and last season?
Probably my one against Huddersfield last season. I think that one. But I did enjoy the one against. I enjoyed the one against Huddersfield this season. So one of the Huddersfield ones.
Good answer. I know it's well documented, your injury troubles, but you've had a brilliant 13-month spell, as Mark touched on, at Middlesbrough. But in your eyes, has it been the best spell, or has it been the best football you played in your career, would you say?
That's a good question. I think it's definitely up there. I think before I did my first knee injury at Sunderland, when I was playing England 21s and in the Premier League, I think I was playing really well then. But then since my knee injury 5 years ago, the first one I did, and then obviously all the troubles after that, this is definitely the best I've felt since then. So it's been quite a long road to get here, but I feel, as I said before, I still have to manage it. It's still not perfect, my knee, by any stretch of the imagination, but it's allowing me to get through games and be, where I want to be. So I'm very grateful, and I've been enjoying my football, I have to say I have.
You touched recently on, your role within this kind of Chris Wilder system, and it benefits your game, being very energetic and being very hard working. Just give us a little bit more of an insight into, where that sort of energy comes from. How do you get this work ethic behind you? Because fans look for it.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's always been something that's kind of been instilled in me, and always something I've always wanted to work hard for the team. And fitness is something I've always worked really hard on personally. I've always been, a fit guy. I was always, cross countries at school and stuff. I'd always be, I won a few of them. So I've had a lot of stamina, and it's something I've kind of really worked on to keep and maintain and improve, because I do think it adds a lot to my game, and I think it adds a lot to the team, which is important. I think, as I said, I think energy on and off the ball, which I mentioned, is really important to the team. And I know that even if I might not be having my best game, because that's just the nature of football. Sometimes I'll be good, sometimes I might not be. And if you're not having your best stuff with you, the least you can get out of yourself is hard work and some energy for the team and pressing and still causing them problems that way. So that's kind of my philosophy. That's the only thing I can control. You can't control performance, but you can control your effort and your output. So that's what I always try and give, and then anything else is a nice bonus.
Just finally, from me looking ahead to Bournemouth this weekend, early lunchtime kickoff, and the prospect of narrowing the gap before the other teams kick off at 3:00 on that afternoon, narrowing the gap to the playoffs is that seen as a big incentive?
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know if it's a big incentive, but it's definitely an incentive. It's definitely something that, as you say, when you have that opportunity, just because you're a couple hours earlier, the way the table looks, it does always look better when you can get up there, and so that'll be something we'll obviously be aware of, and but the most important thing is putting in a good performance, because that's where the results are going to come, and we know Bournemouth are a very good side, so we're going to have to be at it, and we're going to have to be at the top of our games, and that's what everyone is trying to be.
It's a pleasure to speak to you, Duncan, and good luck for Saturday.
Top man, Matt. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
Rob, we'll come to you now, please, buddy.
Hi, Duncan. It's Rob Nichols from the fanzine Climb to the Moon.
Hi, Rob.
Hello. I wanted to ask you about the difference this season of playing in front of fans.
Oh yeah, it is different. You know, I'm not going to lie. It's obviously played a few years with fans before, and then a couple of years or a year and a half, whatever, without fans, and then it's just weird. You get used to one, then you kind of have to adapt to the other, and then you get back used to the fans again. And it's obviously, I mean, it's amazing, like the feeling when you're winning games and scoring goals, you know, and playing well. When there's no fans, it just feels a bit different. It just does, have to be honest. But that feeling of fans there and seeing the kind of, you know, the joy in people's faces and what, you know, winning games can do for fans is always a really nice thing. So and obviously it's very different, the kind of situation we've been in the past couple of years. But it's great to have fans back.
And we're about to go into quite a special period for everyone with football, playing, you know, big games, Boxing Day, New Year, when the atmosphere is that bit more special, isn't it? And do you feel that as a player when you go out there that the games have that little bit more to them?
Yeah, I think so. I think some of the best atmospheres I've been involved in have been, you know, that kind of Boxing Day game or whatever. So I definitely think that's something, and it's something nice for the fans. As I said before about Christmas, like for us, it's an extremely busy time, but that's because a lot of the fans might have a few days off, and you know, they get to watch the teams play, which is great, and go to games. So it's something that you're kind of aware of as a footballer, and you always want to, you know, ideally put in good performances for the fans to give them a good Christmas.
And going back to the start of the season, Duncan, you found yourself, because you weren't available, you found yourself well down the pecking order at one time, didn't you? So that you must have had to really think you've got to really work hard to get back into the starting lineup. Yeah,
I mean, I'm a big believer in you have to always stay patient and just play the long game with it, in the sense that, you know, if you're going to be the way it is, you'll be in and out of the team sometimes, especially the position I play and the way I play, and also maybe, you know, the load that my knee can take or whatever. I have always historically been in and out of the team, so it's something I get used to. I like to be playing games. That's what I prefer, to be putting a run together. But you know, when I'm not, I know how to look after myself. I know how to stay patient, keep doing the right things, and you know, you'll get a chance again. And it's up to you to take that. So that's always kind of my philosophy. And it's something that, you know, if I find myself in again, I'll do that again and just keep staying patient and doing the right things.
And it seems to be working for you with the settle side, working with Andras up front and looking for those crosses. I was watching you at Huddersfield when you were pre-matches, the routines that with Boro and Isaiah knocking the ball into the centre and you and Andras finishing them, and then you actually doing that in the match. It looks like the drills are sort of coming through into the games.
Yeah, definitely. We do work on that, and we do work on patterns of play, and we work on how to exploit, you know, the weaknesses in maybe of his defence, or where we can find the most space, or what's the best kind of strategy to get in behind, get in front of goal, whatever it may be. So it's something that, you know, we are working on, and you know, even the other day there was a video analysis for some of the forwards looking at, you know, how someone like Jamie Vardy moves off the ball and in behind defences, and how effective he is at it. And so there's always ways you can learn, and I enjoy learning and growing my game and trying to, as you say, get in these positions and work in these patterns of play. And it's very rewarding when it comes off, like it did in the Huddersfield game. So yeah, it's something we're going to continue to keep working on and get better at.
And I know you've said that you don't look too far ahead, and obviously you're working for the team, but will you be setting yourself any goals, targets this season?
I honestly won't. I think not because I don't have any, but I just almost think I'm best when I focus one game at a time, and I just try and be the best I can be on that day. And that's ultimately, if I look back at the end of the season and I've given my best for each game, that's all I can ask for. And hopefully that comes with that is good performances and you know, goals or assists or whatever or you know, just contributions to the team. Even if I'm not scoring but the team's winning, you know, I'm happy to play that role for the team. So it's it's one of those things where I just focus each game and just be the best I can be for the team.
Brilliant. Thanks very much. Good luck.
Cheers,
Thanks, Rob. Cheers.
Joe, just to finish off.
Hi, Duncan, just a few.
Hiya, mate.
I know you've spoken about it before, but that spell when you left Sunderland and didn't have a club, could you ever have imagined that you'd be in this position now, playing regularly for a championship team?
Probably not. I believed in myself, but at the same time, after everything I'd been through injury-wise, I didn't know if my body was going to hold up to it, and I felt like it could, but I didn't know. And you just didn't know the standard I'd get back to. So yeah, in honest answer, it's been an amazing 12 months personally, and it's probably been, I've achieved more than I thought I would have done. But at the same time, you've got to have that belief in yourself, and so there were times where you doubt yourself. Of course there are along the journey, because it has been a tricky journey in at times. But I would say, in answer to your question, that it has been better than I could have expected. Yeah.
You mentioned the fitness work as well. Is that something you worked on specifically during lockdown when you were just kind of training on your own? Yeah,
definitely. I did a lot of the 5k and 10k challenges to keep me motivated and try and get my best PB and best times there. And that got me fitter and fitter, and something I enjoyed to kind of push against myself and push against my own times, because I didn't have anyone to train with. So yeah, it was something that I really worked on.
How do you reflect on your time at Sunderland now? And I know there's a lot of ups and downs there with the injuries and everything that went on there.
Yeah, I reflect pretty much, like I've said many times before, is I'm still incredibly grateful for that time. It was a great club, and it treated me really well, and I obviously would have liked it to go different in certain ways, of course, but that's life. And before that I was playing non-league football, so they gave me I learned a lot about myself. Obviously football I grew a lot, but I think most importantly I learned a lot about myself during that time, and grew as a person, which I'm very grateful for as well.
You mentioned now that you're playing more as a striker. What kind of attributes do you think you've improved with your time at Middlesbrough? I think my movement off the ball, getting to spaces has really improved. I think I'm making good runs in behind. I'm finding space. I'm always trying to be a threat where I can be. And I'm learning how to combine that with linking up the play, and holding that kind of central position, because I'm never going to win the ball up in the air if that's not my game. Back to goal, defenders are just a lot bigger and stronger, and that's just the way it is. But what I can do is work to my strengths, which is my movement and pace and energy, and use that to get in good positions. And so that's something I think I've really improved the past few months, is my movement off the ball. And just finally, obviously you have started a lot of games under Chris Wilder, but it wasn't nice to obviously see Neil Warnock leave. How much do you thank him for kind of giving you that opportunity to come to the club?
Yeah, massively. I said that a few times. I'm very grateful for him, having that faith in me when not a lot of people did. So he always believed in me and brought me to the club, and trusted me, and that's why I've had such a brilliant time here. And so yeah, I'm very, very grateful for that.